Hey, everybody, this is Daniel Whited from Denver, Colorado, and we just welcome you to the Doctor's Clinic Call, where the world is your waiting room, and we've got some exciting things to jump into tonight, and hopefully give you some information that will help you personally and possibly individuals that you run into as life goes forward, and very excited about that. Dr. Kirk Fizzik is in the house. He's with us as well. Miss Helen's here. She's smiling from one ear to the other, and we just love being with everybody and talking about the possibilities of what Sisel can do for you and the whole 9 yards. But we're going to talk about results tonight that Doc Kirk's gotten and some of the things that he's seen in his practice and with the people he's worked with. Now, the thing about results is this. Results, though often are harsh, are always fair. And I love it when we get the results that are anticipated. We're not going to make any promises or any claims or any guarantees that this or that can happen for you personally, but we can definitely give you some things to where you can give it a go, and you can start your own personal case study on what's going on with who you're working with, and just keep notes on what happens, and then you'll be able to share those results. Dr. Kirk Fizzik, we love you, brother. Welcome to the call this evening. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. How about you, DW?
Awesome. Was that kind of what people need to hear this evening about the promises and all that, correct?
That's right. I mean, that's exactly it. You know, the FDA really bans us from telling people that we can cure or treat anything, and really in reality we can't. So that's the truth of the matter.
Well, we love getting down to the truth and the bottom line and the facts and what's going on. So talk to us this evening. I mean, you stopped everything that you're doing to spend some time with us. And what's some of the things that's been going on and some of the results that you've been seeing?
Well, DW, thanks for having me, and what a great way of entering the call. You know, I'll tell you, next year will be my 30th year that I've been in practice as a chiropractor, and over the course of time, I've seen a lot of different things happen and changes and things like this and that. But just today, maybe it was 4 hours ago, almost exactly. I was reading a news article from our local TV channel, and they had written a blog. And they said that Blue Cross of North Dakota they're going to start paying doctors to be more efficient at getting people healthy. So doctors who take longer to fix you, doctors that make you spend more money, are actually going to be penalized by the system. And I thought, holy cow, they're catching on. They're catching on because in the past, you know, the way the system was written, it was really drawn up that the more tests you ordered, the more money you made, and so clinics and doctors over the course of the last 30 years, I've seen healthcare costs going up. The same disease entity costs more to treat today at the clinic than it did 20 years ago, and not just because of the rising cost of healthcare, but because the doctors got paid more if they actually took longer. What do you think of that, DW?
I think it's crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely. I mean, it's like they want more money, but it's kind of like what the NFL did a few years ago. They went on strike, and you know what they did? And they went on strike, Doc. They asked for more money, and in their contract, end up having to do less work. And so that's kind of the way the country's gone, just a little bit, hasn't it?
It really has. And when we're talking about people's health, I mean, it's just not good. And so what they end up doing is they price so many people out of the market that people can't afford. There's a lot of people who can't afford to go to the doctor, which, as I'm going to talk about, is probably a good thing in the end, right?
Absolutely a good thing.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but in California there was a period of time. I think it was like a 90-day period of time where all the doctors in one county, they went on strike and they didn't go to work, right? And guess what happened?
Well, if they went on strike and they didn't go to work, probably cash flow stopped.
Well, check this out. What actually happened is that the death rate in that county went down.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, now you got me. Now you got my brain going. Okay, keep talking, brother.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get people. I mean, just think about it. Think about it. What if I just said is true, and it is? But what if you doubt me? And you have every reason in the world to doubt me because, we've been taught totally different. We've been taught that you need your doctor to stay alive. You need your doctor to stay healthy. And here I am telling you that the death rate actually went down when the doctors quit working. And so go look it up and pay some attention to that. And you'll find out that sometimes less is more. And that's what you want to start thinking about. But, DW, about 3 or 4 years into my practice, so 25, 26 years ago, I really started kind of getting bored with necks and backs, and I kind of tease some of my chiropractic buddies because, you've heard people say, oh, man, you're a chiropractor, crack my neck, right? Have you ever said that to a chiropractor?
I said it to you, Doc. If you don't remember that, I said it to you personally.
Right, and I'm not offended by it at all because I've heard it for nearly 30 years. Crack my neck, crack my back, and I'm going to go to my chiropractor. I'm going to get cracked, but
the truth was, I really did ask you that, and you go, well, DW, there's 72 different spots in your neck, and I'm not sure which one's out of whack.
Right?
Seriously, and but I remember having that discussion. I was serious. And, it's not just boom, crack it and you're done. There's way more to it,
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You got to be more specific if you want to get those results. And that's exactly why the insurance companies are saying, okay, let's make these chiropractors be more specific on their adjustments. Let's make the medical doctors be more specific on what they prescribe and things like that. But, back when I graduated from college, I really got offended by that. People would say, oh, crack my neck, and I'd tell them some smart remark, like I'd say, eggs crack, sidewalks crack, backs don't crack, right? And some of my real, I don't know, I'm going to say that the anal chiropractors that I know, some of them, they still get offended by it even after 30 years of practice. And I just say, lighten up. People are going to make jokes about it, and that's what they think, and that's what they've heard. But as we've moved into the modern day healthcare where we are today, all of a sudden, like I said, I started getting bored with necks and backs, and I started getting into what I call age reversal, right? And you can't really call it anti-aging because anti-aging means the opposite of aging. Well, anti-aging is dying. And so, I guess I don't want to get into dying medicine. So I started listening to the experts. They said it's really age reversal. It's age reversal medicine and age reversal health and that's what we really want to get into. And it's the fastest growing branch of medicine. And about 10 or 15 years ago, when I was telling people that's what I really want to get into, they'd look at me and kind of say, well, that's nice, And then, just like you're a little kid, you're like your little toddler, and they say, oh, Kurt, that's nice. And but they really didn't really take it too serious because anti-aging medicine really wasn't all that serious back then. And now they've discovered that it really is something that we can do. And so as we look at age reversal medicine, I talk about I guess I'm going to call it health equity and longevity. And I remember my middle boy, the one who's actually in medical school right now, he's in his second year of medical school. He and I were having this discussion, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, back when he was still in high school. And I told him, I said, Sam, I said, I'd like to live to be at that time I was thinking 100 years old, and I thought, wouldn't that be nice to be 100 years old and I could sit there and I could look back and I go, I remember when we did this, and I remember when we did that, and man, I remember when you actually used to have to drive cars and you had to go to doctors and things like that. But and my son said, Dad, he said, why do you want to live that long? He said, and this is when he was in high school. He said, it looks like we should probably want to die when we're around 75 or 76. And again, this is my son, when he was still in high school, and I thought, well, why do you pick that age? And he said, well, if you take a look at it, everybody starts to get sick around that time when they get to be 70, and he said they start getting diseases like arthritis and cancer and Alzheimer's and this and that. And he said, do you really want to live if you're going to have to suffer? And I thought, right, Sam, you're right. And and I started thinking about it, and if you take a look at one of the directors, I forget his name now, but one of the directors of the National Institutes of Health, he actually said the same thing. He had a video where he told everybody, he said, you really should want to die by the time you're, about the age of 75, maybe 76, somewhere in there, because that's when you start becoming a burden on society rather than an asset to society. You become a burden. And so all the guys that were in the age reversal, the anti-aging field of medicine, they were kind of up against this, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you guys are going to live longer, and you're going to cost the world a lot of money because you're living longer, and they were looking at the burden to society rather than being an asset, and so the experts or the researchers started really looking at that, and they said, okay, well, first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how do we get people so they're healthy. And that's the field of health-evity, right? Health-evity. Rather than longevity, it's health-evity. How do we make it so people stay healthier for longer periods of time? How do we make it so that they aren't really a burden to society? And so that's kind of what the focus was at that time, and they really came up with the idea that we can get people so they're healthier for longer periods of time, and they've been working on it. So just think about it, right? What's the number 3 killer in America? Well, the number 3 killer is actually what they call iatrogenic disease, right? And iatrogenic disease is doctor-induced, and it's caused by giving the wrong prescription, doing the wrong surgery, messing up on a surgery, whatever it happens to be. But that's the number 3 cause of death in America. Number 2 is cancer, and number 1, of course, is heart disease, right? And so you start thinking about, what if we could just lower the risk of those 3 factors, those 3 major causes of death. And so a lot of focus has been on that, and really if you're paying any attention to the field of age reversal, anti-aging, you're going to see that these doctors, these researchers actually have a lot of that stuff figured out. But traditional medicine, as we know, they make a lot of money by treating people, and they make a lot of money by, keeping people sick, and I guess I'm going to say it the way I see it, and if you think I'm controversial about it, I guess so be it. But really, if you do some reading, you'll find out that I'm right. And so when we start looking at those things, and you can lower that, and then now that the researchers say, look, we've got a handle on this thing now. We know how to keep people healthier. What we're going to do now is we're going to start focusing our attention. We're going to start focusing the research on now, how do we actually increase longevity? How do we get people so that they can actually live longer? And if everybody will remember, last February 2015, Time magazine had a picture of a little baby on the cover, and it said this baby could live to be 142. And so a lot of the researchers now are saying that probably the first person to live to be over 140 years old was probably born last year, and so it's getting possible, and they're saying living to be 120 is really in the likelihood. And so my kids and my grandkids, I don't have any yet, but when I do, they're probably going to live to be over 120, 140 years old, and based on the studies, we're going to find that they're not going to be a burden to to the rest of us, the people who are still paying taxes. And so it's really pretty cool. But so tonight, I wanted to cover some things that I've seen happen in my little neck of the woods, the little group of people that I take care of, and I'm not going to list any products, just because that's the thing that really gets us in trouble, is when you start saying the names of products related to different diseases and things like that, because then you're making medical claims. And earlier this year, you probably read a report that the FDA came down on a company that makes walnuts, because the walnut company made the claim. They said that eating walnuts lowers your cholesterol, right? And so the FDA said, well, they told the company that was making those walnuts, I forget the name of the company, but they said, well, you guys are making medical claims now, and if you continue to do so, then what we're going to do is we're going to make you call walnuts a drug, and you'll have to prescribe the walnuts. And so they quickly changed their marketing scheme, and they don't say that anymore. You notice on TV, you don't see that about walnuts anymore, because the FDA came down on. So you really have to be kind of careful with that. So, but what you can do is you can talk about research, and you can talk about ingredients, and so first person I'm really going to talk about it is my dad, and my dad, he's 78 years old, and he was diagnosed with a type of lymphoma back here about 11 years ago. And using different natural products, we were using some products that detoxed, and it took heavy metals and toxins out, and my dad's lymphoma improved greatly. I mean, they basically, for 3 years, they didn't have to do any treatment with him. They didn't do any chemo, anything like that. And then they started to see that it was falling apart a little bit. He was starting to get, after 3 years, he was starting to have a little bit of an increase again. And so I had to kind of go back and do a little bit more reading, a little bit more research, and we put him on some products that boosted his immune system and made his immune system really, really strong. And again, his cancer numbers started to go down. He started to improve, and he was doing really, really good. And then he was doing good for a while, and then the cancer numbers started to go up just a little bit again. And so I do a little bit more research. Now we're kind of 2016 now in January. My dad, they told him that because of the different things because at the same time they were putting him on chemo, but his chemo was actually damaging his liver, and they told him that he was going to be, probably put on a liver transplant list. And I remember I was sitting there, and I was with a friend of mine, and we were looking over some different research, and they said that high-dose resveratrol, high-dose, high-potency, highly stable resveratrol would actually boost the function of the liver, and it would actually help kill the type of lymphoma that my dad had. And so I put my dad on a high-potency, highly efficient resveratrol product, and within 3 months, his liver numbers started to go down, and he started to improve, and to the point to where the doctors they were basically at Mayo Clinic, they were kind of dumbfounded on what's going on, what are you doing there? I was with my dad, and they asked him, what are you doing? And my dad's really kind of saying, I don't know, not really doing much, because he was old school and a little bit nervous about telling the doctors he was taking natural products. And so I was sitting there, so I just kind of piped up, and I said, well, come on. I said, tell them exactly what you're taking. And we did, and the doctor's writing all this stuff down. He's writing all this stuff down. But my dad's liver improved to the point to where the doctors told him, they said, your liver is functioning like that of a 20-some-year-old. Remember, my dad is 78, and in 60 days, 90 days before that, they were just telling him that he was probably going to be on a liver transplant list. And all of a sudden, they're telling him that his liver is functioning like somebody that's 60 years or 50 years younger than what he actually is. And think about that. And so it really, really nice. And but the type of lymphoma is called Waldenstrom's that my dad has. It affects the kidneys. It causes a lot of problems with the kidneys. And so again, my dad's kidney function had been going down over the years, and had actually been kind of decreasing in function. And when I was with Dad at Mayo in I can't remember if it was March or April. I think it was 1st April. They also said, well, it's funny, your kidney numbers are starting to improve again. They're getting better, and within a month they were back to where they were when he started 11 years ago. His kidney function was back to functioning pretty normally. And this last weekend on Saturday, just 4 days ago, I was with my dad, and the doctors told him, they said, we don't know what's going on. They said, your kidney function is back to normal. And the doctors they're just like kind of confused. They're looking at that. What are you doing? And Dad said, well, I'm just taking the same stuff, the high potency resveratrol product. He's taking the product that boosts the function of the liver. And then I've got him taking a teaspoon of baking soda mixed in water every day. He's mixing that into a water solution, and he's drinking that. And so that's what Dad's doing. He's taking some detox products, products that take out heavy metals, and products that help with the thyroid and different things like that. But think about that. That's what my dad is doing. And again, I can't list the name of the products. I'm just saying that if you look at the research, which is exactly what I do, I spend my time reading the research, and then I go to my dad and I say, here, this is what we're going to put you on, and it's working. And I'm working with a number of different people. I have a guy that I'm working with that has amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, also called Lou Gehrig's disease, and 5 years ago was the last time that he was able to stand up on his own 2 feet, and we put him on basically on the same products that my dad is on. We put him on a product that detoxes and pulls heavy metals out. And the reason I did that is because there's some research that shows that ALS acts kind of like toxic exposure to heavy metals. So that's how I came up with doing that with my dad, with my friend, and then we put him on a product that boosts the function of the immune system. Right, same thing that my dad was on, and we put him on a product that increased the function of the liver. We put him on some products that help with the getting the toxins out, and he just continues to improve to the point to where when I first met him in February, he couldn't talk. You couldn't understand a word that he said. But now I'll sit there now. I'll have a 30, 40-minute conversation with him where we talk about hunting and fishing, and I can understand most everything that he says, and it's a good conversation. And then 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, he grabbed hold of the railing in his room in the nursing home. There's a railing that goes around the room. And he grabbed hold of this railing, and he pulled himself up, and he was standing. Again, it's been 5 years since he stood up, and so here the gentleman stood up, and you can imagine the look on the nurses' faces when they saw him standing there, like Randy, you got to sit back down. You got to sit back down. And he said, no. He said, I'm going to walk. And they. Not only could they plainly hear what he said, but they watched him, and now he's spending half an hour to 45 minutes a day standing on his own 2 feet. And I just tell people, that's crazy. That's crazy to see those kinds of results. And so those were two of the stories that I wanted to share tonight. I've got one third story that I just really wanted to share. Another friend of mine. He's got a heavy construction business. He drives semi. He drives Caterpillars, D9, D10. He's got a big, heavy excavating equipment, things like that. And so he has to have that federal DOT license. And one of the things they're really strict on is on blood sugars and diabetes, things like that. anyhow, this gentleman started having some problems with that a number of years ago, and his doctors told him, well, here's what we're going to put you on, and they put him on a number of different medications, and he got a little better right away, but then over time it actually started to get worse, and about a month ago, my friend started to have some vision problems, to the point where he got worried because he was sitting there having dinner with his wife, and he couldn't even read the menu. That's how bad his vision got. And you know, with the diabetes, with the blood sugar problems, that's actually a fairly common problem as your nerves and the blood vessels get damaged from the high blood sugars. In any case, I started having my friend taking a product that helped balance out blood sugars. I had him start taking products that would help with the immune system, because a lot of diabetic type problems is actually related to the immune system, and then I had him taking a resveratrol product again to make the blood vessels so they were more flexible, they were more pliable, and over a very short period of time, 6 days, he called me up and he said that it was unbelievable. All of the vision problems were gone, and his blood sugars are back to a normal rate. And it's just totally amazing. And he told me, he said, yeah, I should have gone on those products 2 years ago when you first started talking about it. But he said my insurance company wouldn't pay for them. And it took when they were really, you know, threatening to take away his DOT license that it made him get on this stuff. So, DW, that's kind of some of the stories that I have. And again, I didn't talk about any products on purpose. I'm going to throw it over to you. And so don't make any claims, but just, you know, kind of talk about how some of the products relate to that. Over to you, man.
I'll tell you what, Doc, we appreciate that. I will try to do that in 2 minutes and see if I can't make that happen, brother. But here's some things. When you're helping someone and their immune system is compromised, their blood pressure system is compromised, their brain system is compromised, you know, going through Lyme's disease and all those kind of challenges, we have things that can possibly give somebody a chance to have optimal health. But you got to understand one thing that Doc is really talking about. A lot of times what traditional doctors have to offer are synthetic narcotics and drugs, and they're synthetic medicines. And, you know, and what we're dealing with here when it comes to helping people with nutrition, you know, we're dealing with the kind of products that have the side effects are nothing but, you know, positive results. And when you're dealing with synthetics, narcotics, and drugs and synthetic medicines, it's just amazing. I mean, when you sit there and read the words and the problems that some of these things will cause, and it's because they have toxins in them, because the body it can't absorb them, and it reacts adversely to them. Well, we want to put you in a situation to where you have products in your body, and you have the kind of things that will not allow toxins to be there. So there's a twofold approach that we do with with our products. Number one, we have everything that you can get your hands on when it comes to no longer putting chemicals and toxic materials or contaminants and hazard materials on your body. So you get rid of the contaminants and you can get rid of the hazard materials, and some of the products that are going to cause those challenges. That's huge. So we have the shampoos, the toothpaste, the mouthwash, the dishwashing liquid, the bar soap, the kind of soap you use with the dirt extractor. Miss Helen calls it a poof, and the shower gel, the body shower gel for the body, and we have the shaving cream that's good for you. We spray the Terminator on the armpits and then put the deodorant on there. So all those things no longer put toxins and hazard materials and contaminants in or on your body anymore. And then when the pathways get jammed up, and you sit there and you read, hey, they're getting results with certain kinds of cancers because of a product called resveratrol. Well, I'm telling you what, we have the resveratrol product that's just the bomb diddly, and that's dealing with it's called Eternity. We have an entire combination that lays a foundation for your body to put it in a position to possibly have optimal health, and that's what we're after. We're after optimal health in your system. And that product has a lot to do with called the Triangle of Life, and it deals with sequoidin. It's another product that we've done a tremendous amount of scientific research. And when I'm talking to my doctor buddies and those that are in the health clinic, I got an entire thing that I hand them. It's not for the average person because they won't understand all the research and everything that's within it. But we have all the all that stuff that gives it. When my docs read this, they go, oh my goodness, we've been looking for something like this, or we heard about something like this, and they've all understood that there's other ways of helping somebody get healthy and getting their life back, and that's what we do. Then you move into the body shield, one of the things that's designed to grab a hold of heavy metals that are in the body and escort them out of the body. That's a game changer for you. Then you got, and Doc, I don't even know. I think we want to probably spend some time on this really, 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 really soon. But, the the 4 Restore is another game changer. And I don't know all the things to tell you that it does. I just know the results that we're getting, and that's how we started this call off. Results so often harsh are always fair. The results we're getting with 4 Restore and the way people are feeling and functioning and the body is doing the things it needs to do is just fantastic. Then we have a TSX product that we'll probably revisit sometime real soon and give you a chat about that. But we're talking about living to that 100, that 110 years old, or putting you in a situation where you can at least make a run for it. Well, once your body starts burning up more cells than it's producing, you're in trouble. I mean, it's like game over. It's like, the light's getting dimmer and but you want to get that light brightened back up, get your telomeres cranking out some proper cells and get those stretched out and the little fuzzy things on them that are all crunchy and kind of looking like they're looking mildewy or whatever, and get those revitalized and let them come back alive. So that gives you another fighting chance. We have products that we talk about the joints. I mean, we have an entire joint system. We have an entire weight maintenance system. We have an entire hair system. We have systems in play to help you get healthy. We have systems in play that will aid you with some of the challenges you're having, with sugar levels and with blood pressure and with the arthritis. Talk about joints and arthritis and all that. You talk about the brain and getting oxygen. The diatomic hydrogen water system is another game changer when it comes to get oxygen in your system and in your body. So those are some things you're going to want to get with the person that invited you on this call tonight, because we've gone into overtime here, and have them get you on a 3-way. Doc will be glad to talk to you. I'll be glad to help you out from time to time. But your upline, the person and the people that's invited you to this call, and your business partners you're working with, they will help you get the information so you can make an intelligent decision. Tons of videos out there with Tom talking about, some of the things. I mean, the healthy coffee that we have, that's another thing. People's drinking hot drinks in the morning. How would you like to drink one that woke your brain up and help with the your digestive tract, that help with the cardiovascular, help with the systems of your body that need to be functioning in the morning. That's another game changer. So we have those products in play as well. All right, everybody, we're going to just bring it to an end and call that a wrap right now. So I'm just asking you, Doc Fizz, you got anything else you want to say?
Man, DW, I just want to tell people that if you're talking to somebody that does have a challenge in their health, get them just to give us a 90-day trial. right? And you do have to use natural products for at least 90 days to really see the results. If they say, oh, they'll try it, and they're talking about going on it for 10, 15 days, tell them don't even waste your money because you're not going to see the kind of results that you want to get. So DW, I guess that's my final thought on it.
That's good advice, and that's the thing we let people know. They've gone through challenges, Doc. 6 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they want to use what we're using in 2 weeks, and we go, wow. Hey, make that 90 to 120 day commitment to consistently doing this and changing some even some ways that you eat. I mean, the people's eat a lot of starches and a lot of sugars and those kind of things, and they want their body to get healed up. It's going to be a little more difficult to do that. So we changed some of the things that we're doing. All right, my friends, we just appreciate it tonight, and appreciate you being part of the call, and just thank you for being on. And we'll talk to you soon. God bless everybody. This is Doctor's Clinic. Daniel Whited, over and out.
Thank you. Good night.
Great call.